Okay, I'm going to get started by welcoming all of you guys. Welcome to Wat Tung Yu. Welcome to anyone who's online joining us for our meditation. We're going to go out for a tour today where I'm going to visit 2 different temples and help you guys to learn all about the temples. But we start here with meditation. So I'm going to guide you guys in a meditation session first, and then we'll talk about the tour afterwards. If you'd like to join in the meditation, the way that I start is with some chanting to ease us into the meditation. You can find the chants over there on a laminated sheet on the cabinet. You're welcome to help yourself, because if you'd like to chant along, you're welcome to chant along if you'd like. The chanting that we do, it's a way to ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation itself. The chanting during the lifetime of the Buddha was used as a learning tool to be able to help commit the teachings to memory. Every 2 weeks, his students would chant his teachings in order to be able to remember them. So with chanting, there isn't anything mystical or magical. It's not a ritual or ceremony or worship or prayer or anything like that. Today, we use chanting as a way to ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation. But during the lifetime of the Buddha, they just used it to be able to remember his teachings. So they recited his teachings orally every 2 weeks as a way to commit them to their memory. So there aren't any rites, rituals, ceremonies, worship, or prayer in the teachings of the Buddha. So these chants aren't those kinds of things. I suspect these chants weren't even created by the Buddha, because if you read the English translations, there's a lot of admiration and appreciation and gratitude and respect for the Buddha. And the Buddha wouldn't create chants and say, here, chant these things to me out of respect for me. But if you learn from a teacher how to move from anger, sadness, frustration, and all these other discontent feelings to the enlightened mental state where the mind's completely peaceful, calm, serene, and content with joy, and this teacher didn't want anything from you or expect anything from you, you'd probably have a lot of appreciation, gratitude, and respect for that person too. And that's where I suspect these chants came from, is his students, as a way of showing appreciation, gratitude for him, either his students during his life or after his death. So if you'd like to chant along, you're more than welcome to as we ease into meditation. Once we get into meditation, I'm going to be providing you some guidance, helping you to understand how to meditate while we're actually meditating. Then there's going to be a period of time where it's just quiet and we're just all meditating together. Now, I'm sure you'll hear an occasional sound here or there. You might hear a car going by, a bird chirping, a dog barking. Someone might sneeze or cough here. You never know what sound might happen. When you hear a sound, you can just understand that that is impermanent, that you can't be in an environment where it's permanently quiet. If your mind craves permanent quietness during meditation, when you hear a sound during meditation, you will cause your mind to be annoyed or frustrated. It's your own mind that's causing the frustration or agitation or annoyance. This is part of the teachings of the Buddha, that it's not the outside world that's causing you to be angry or frustrated. So if you're in meditation and you don't have a craving for permanent silence, and you just understand the world around you is constantly changing and it is impermanent, when you hear a sound, you understand, that's completely normal. That's the way the world works. That's the way the world functions. So during that period of time of quietness, I'm sure you hear an occasional sound. But after that, then we're going to come out of the meditation with some more chanting. And then that's where I'll help you guys to understand our plan for today so you can decide whether you'd like to go on our tour or not. So if you'd like to join for the meditation, there's actually 4 positions that the Buddha taught. There's seated, lying, standing, and walking meditation. These are the 4 different positions that he taught because your body can't be in the same position permanently. So I'll give you some guidance in the seated position, because this tends to be the position that a lot of people first start learning in. That you could be sitting on the floor, you could be in a chair, on a bench, a sofa, a wheelchair. These are all options for somebody to be able to sit. You can sit however you're comfortable. There isn't just one way to actually sit during meditation. So oftentimes people are on the floor, so I'll give you some guidance with that if you're on the floor, you might have some cushions under your rear. This will kind of help to make the seat nice and soft. And if you're going to bring your legs together in the cross-leg position, you like to do that lightly. Whereas if they're real tight, it will impede the circulation and it'll cause pain in your lower body. Some people like to put their legs off the mat. That gets your hips up in the air, and it lessens the angle at the hips, the knees, and the ankles, allowing the circulation to flow. The Buddha put his right hand over his left with his thumbs together, and he put this into his lap. If this is comfortable for you, you could use that. But it's not about everyone doing it exactly the same way. There's other options here too. Some people like to put their palms on their thighs. Some people put their palms on their knees. Some people put their hands up or rest them comfortably in their lap. So you can take whatever position that you'd like, whether it's something that I've decided to share with you or whether it's something you decide on your own. There's really no fixed way to actually sit. These are just recommendations and suggestions for you. If there's someone at home that's on a chair, a bench, or a sofa or wheelchair, you can sit perhaps with your feet flat on the floor or lightly crossed at the ankles, but you can see me sitting in a chair with my legs crossed. So this is an option too. You can also sit however you're comfortable, and you can place your hands and arms wherever you like. In terms of your upper body, it's helpful if this is erect, with your sternum up and your shoulders back. It'll help keep the mind attentive and alert during the meditation. This is a dedicated, active, purposeful training session where you're eliminating certain unwholesome qualities from the mind and you're cultivating certain wholesome qualities in the mind. So you would like the mind to be attentive and alert during the meditation. So having the sternum up and the shoulders back will keep your mind attentive and alert during the meditation. It'll also make it easy for you to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Whereas if you were really slouched like this, it would be very challenging. The mind could be dull or lethargic and it'd be hard to breathe. But if you were real rigid, the mind could be overactive or uptight. So you'd like the upper body to be in the middle with the sternum up and the shoulders back. It'll help to keep the mind attentive and alert and make it easy for you to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. So again, I'm going to do some chanting to ease us into the meditation. And then if you guys would like to chant along, you're more than welcome. I'm going to come back in with the guidance afterwards, after the chanting. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Mahakeva Bhutang Mahakavanhang Apivateyami Savakato Mahakavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Mahakavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso Mahakava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicacaranang Sammuno Sakato Rokavitu Anutero Purisa Dhamma Sati Satatawa Manusarang Bhutto Bhagavati. Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, in the upper body erect, just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath, a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธมหะเกวาโพตังมหาเขวันหังอภิวาเตมิสวากขาโตมหาเขวัตตาธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนมหาเขวัตโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสมหะเขวาอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจาจารณังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสาดัมมาสติสัตตาตวามนุสนังโอโตภะคะวะติ Okay, if you guys would like to slowly make your way out of meditation. Once again, welcome to all of you guys. Nice to see everyone here this morning. What we're going to be doing today is taking a tour to two different temples here in Thailand, Wat Umong and Wat Doi Suthep. These are two different temples that are two different branches of Buddhism here in Thailand. There's two different branches. One is called the forest tradition. One is, I refer to it as the city tradition, even though these temples are all over the country. But in reality, they're referred to as Dhamma Yut and Dhamma Gai. These are two completely different types of traditions here in Thailand, where the forest tradition is typically considered to be the tradition that's closest to what the Buddha actually taught during his lifetime versus the other type of Buddhist teachings that you'll find in other traditions. So what we do is we visit these two temples and I walk around and I teach you the artwork, the architecture, and the symbolism of the temple, because the teachings of the Buddha are embedded into the actual structures of the temples. And if you're just visiting temples now and you're just like, oh, wow, that's pretty, take a picture. Oh, that's beautiful. Take a picture. You don't really have the understanding of what you're actually looking at. But if you understand what you're actually looking at and a little bit of the teachings of the Buddha, it's much more enjoyable to visit temples. And it's like the temple's walls start to speak to you. And it's really nice to be able to visit temples this way. So if you would like to go on this tour, I'm going to teach you the artwork, the architecture, and the symbolism about the teachings of the Buddha and how this is embedded into the temples, so that when you visit temples, it can be more meaningful for you. It's kind of like a classroom without walls. We kind of walk through the temple, and I just kind of tour you around and teach you as we go. We're going to visit Wat Umong first. Then we're going to go up the mountain and visit Wat Doi Suthep. But before we do that, we're actually going to stop and have lunch at a Hill Tribe restaurant. There's a restaurant that I go to that has really wonderful food so that we can have some lunch. They have a real thick menu. So they have everything you can imagine, meat dishes, vegetarian, vegan dishes. If there's something that they don't have that you would like, I've seen them actually go get it somewhere else for you. So I'm sure they're going to take really good care of you. And then ultimately, we walk around that second temple as well, and we come back down here. We usually get here around 5 p.m. in the evening. And then actually this evening at 6 p.m. here at the temple, we have what's called Temple Movie Fun Night, where I'm going to be showing a documentary from the BBC of the life of the Buddha. And we're going to have popcorn. There's going to be other people who are joining us. It's kind of like a little party. So if you'd like to go on the tour, you're more than welcome to do that. If you'd like to stick around for the movie night, we have a movie that's going to be shown. It'll be a really enjoyable day, so you're more than welcome to participate in any part of this that you'd like. In terms of the transportation from here to the temples, there's a red truck that's here that I organized, that if you guys would like to travel by the red truck, that you guys can pay him a fee, and then he'll be able to take us to the temples. Normally, he charges 1,500 baht for the whole day, but with less people, he might actually charge less price. But it usually works out between 200 to 300 baht per person is what it usually works out to. And then if you have a little bit of money for lunch and things like that, probably 600, 800, 1,000 baht, you'd be more than fine to go on the trip. Just depends on what it is that you normally spend your money on, and because they're shopping along the way. If you would like to shop, it's up to you, right? So this is my plan, and I'd like to just kind of see by show of hands how many of you guys are planning to go on the trip. Can you just show me a show of hands? So 1, 2, 3 people. Okay, 4 people. Okay, so you're not going, right? Okay. Okay. So if there's just the 4 of you guys, I actually have my car here. If you guys like, we can actually take my car, and then you don't actually have to pay for the truck. Would you guys like to travel in my car? It's more comfortable too. We'll have air conditioning and stuff. My car is an electric car, and I didn't charge it last night. So we might need to just stop at a gas station for like 20, 30 minutes, just give my car a little bit of juice. I think I have enough to go the whole trip, but it's kind of nice just to have a little bit extra just in case. But they have places where you can do like a fast charge, and it'll charge it up really quick, really fast. So maybe we can just do that. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys would like to just kind of gather up your stuff and use the bathroom, you can meet me outside the classroom at the tables, and then from there we can go and head out to the temples. Okay. All right, let's go have fun. Sorry for everyone online that you can't come. Technology hasn't advanced that much yet, but maybe another time when you're in Chiang Mai. So have a lovely day.